now I move forward to Mr. Joseph Sebastian, who is the head of pastoral care. I'm sure you have a few important things to say as well.
Thank you for this opportunity, and I thank the doctors for this wonderful presentation. And they spoke mainly about science, basically. And the principals, all principals completed, they were talking about the ground reality actually, what they are facing in schools. We have priority more than academics. We are considering well-being of children as a first priority. Their physical well-being first of all, then second their mental well-being, and third awareness building. Awareness building is the first thing actually we should do in schools. But we are doing that for students. We are doing that for teachers. But the issue is with parents. I need to agree on that with the principals here, because we have educated parents in school, in Dubai especially, in Dubai, Sharjah, and we are in the United Arab Emirates. We have all educated parents here, but I had two experiences. One experience is like this. There was a student who used to come with a tiffin filled with only 2 Koi eggs and 2 Oreo biscuits on a daily basis. And what I can say, the parent is well educated, both the parents, they are working in Dubai. And we had to fight with the parent to make a change in that particular child's tiffin box. And as a result of this particular nutritional habit, the child became very thin. He got teased in this classroom, as well bullying happened, and there a lot of issues happened in the classroom. And another case is that it happened during the COVID days. We used to see one child sitting in front of the laptop with a huge glass of milk. He got, I can say, addicted to milk and junk food items during those days. Parents were busy sitting inside their rooms and working in front of laptops. So they just ordered food for him. He was inside in front of the laptop attending the online classes. So when he came back, almost like after 2 years, he came back to classrooms. So when he came back, he was almost like 70 kilograms and he was studying in grade 5 and almost like my height. So we can imagine he was not able to perform in any physical activities, and he started crying in the classrooms. Unfortunately, we can say he was diagnosed with ASD also, ASD level 1. So he was in a difficult stage, and we had to include dietitians also to help him to come out. And because of his mental health challenges, he was not able to understand the connection between these food habits and the particular body weight gain and everything. So it was a difficult time. And that experience also came from educated family, educated parents. So it's more like educating the parents and the family is more important right now. Otherwise, I think we will end up preparing or producing doctors, engineers, or principals, but they will be having a lot of lifestyle diseases. They will be suffering from a lot of health issues, and they will not be able to support or give something to the society in next 10 years.
Thank you so much. So we've heard from the doctors what needs to be done. We have heard the challenges that apparently schools, teachers, everybody is facing, how much parents should be involved. Now let's once again go back to the doctors, and I'm sure you all must be remembering all the points that were put forth. Most of them being the common, which was like parents' involvement has to be there. So what would you like to say, each of you, whoever would like to speak?
I'll start.
Yeah, please
Go
ahead.
I'm also a parent. My child is in grade 1. So I am also one of these parents who probably is not having breakfast with her daughter, including today. See, I do understand parents also at one point. We have our economic responsibility, social responsibility. We need to provide for them, and support here is less. I do understand it's difficult for them as well. I know, but we are also sometimes not being aware of it, like, okay, everything is going fine. We can make it believe that way. So we need to work, all of us, parents, teachers, and doctors involved. We need to work in together, because it's eventually your child, your future. It's going to make a big difference on a collaboration. I hope these kind of discussions will lead to that collaboration. See, we are collaborating with the teachers, and in turn we'll also include the parents in collaboration, because to reach parents, you are our way. Like, through
Correct.
teachers, we can reach the parents, and we can start. And I know you guys are all doing a lot of awareness issues, awareness classes, trainings for teachers, and maybe including actual healthcare professionals with the licensed professionals here in those meetings. maybe we'll elevate your training levels. It's already there. We can do it to elevate. So that will be my one comment to this situation. And
It
I
has to
hope
be
the
a collective-
collaboration.
Yeah, it has to be a collective, collaborative effort.
And obvious collaboration is important. I think we should have had a parent in this.
We should have
Health
had.
cafe as
I'm sure.
We are all
Yeah,
parents.
I'm sure
Yeah, I'm
lots of
parent.
parents-
Yeah.
Right. So, just not just the doctor's point of view, not just a principal's point of view. You can put a parent's point of view as well, right?
Times have changed, our social milieu has changed. We all have to accept that. When we were kids, the way we were brought up was different because the requirements were different. What is happening is that certain basics which were right are being forgotten. We have to bring them back. Okay, second thing what I feel is children, how they develop initially by mimicking. They will do what they see. So it is the parent, it's the teacher, it's every person they interact with has to become a role model for that child. So if they see the right things happening in front of them, they will adopt those healthy habits. So I know in today's busy world with both the parents working and everybody needs to work, they don't give enough time. But when they come to us with their problem, they are equally frustrated. The parents are equally frustrated. They want to do better. So it is our responsibility to spend those extra 5, 10, 15 minutes, be it a doctor, be it a teacher or a principal, to give them strategies. So that's what we provide. We sit down and my simple thing is to break down their day. Ask them, when do you wake up? What is your day? What is the child's day? And wherever you see the gaps where you can help or give an advice, okay, this could be done this way. This could be replaced this way. And it helps. Then they come back to say, okay, we've adopted these strategies and they are helping us. We cannot expect to have all 3 meals with our children every single day. Not possible. 1 meal a day. Start with 1 meal a day and let that meal be, free of your gadgets and your TV and things like that.
Where you talk to each other.
Where you communicate, where you develop those bonds, that is very, very important. And invariably, doctors are talking about teenagers. It's not the teenagers. I get extremely dismayed to see an infant, a 7, 8, 9-month-old being given the phone, It is shown in front of them. Why? No, doctor, the child is crying. Let them cry. Crying is healthy, nothing wrong for a few minutes if your child cries. But when you are doing this, what's happening? The child grabs it, child is addicted to it. And now, believe me, internet withdrawal syndrome is an actual medical illness. Okay, so it is a medical illness that we don't want to have, right? So we have to start early. We have to sustain, like doctor said, the unfortunate, esteemed principal said, the unfortunate incident of the suicide that happens. That's an extreme step. But what all must have happened before that? We have missed the signals. We have missed the adequate management. So that's our responsibility. And we cannot always talk about this is available or that is not available. What is available, let's make do with that. What can we do with it? So let's put our heads together and get some solution. Parenting has changed. I always say parents have lost the ability to say no to their children. They have just lost the ability to say no. As if, why? Because of the guilt. 5 days I'm not with the child, the 2 days that I'm with the child, I will fulfill every wish. And it leads to just what is happening on weekends, going out, eating out, do that, but in moderation. And make healthier choices there. So it's very important.
Too much of gentle parenting is not really needed. Is that what you're saying?
I feel the parenting needs to be looked at. It's a very important aspect. And let's not assume that it's a skill which will be naturally acquired. So if you're suffering, if you have roadblocks, or if you have doubts, come and talk to the experts and find some solutions. And I think y'all are doing a very good job of involving parents and doing the sessions with them. Let me tell you, when you mentioned that the parents also should take it forward, what will happen is a particular subset of parents who have that extra time on hand are going to do it. The busiest ones and the ones who need it the most, it doesn't reach them. So if you have identified 2 children in your school who had poor dietary habits, focused approach with those families. That's what is going to help us, isn't it? Certain ground rules should be there in the school, especially in the kindergarten and younger children. What they get to school, it has to be seen. I think there should be a check on that, and it should be taken
Yeah.
forward from there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Dr. Fiji, what would you like to say? I mean, he was saying, Mr. Joseph was saying that somebody was bringing this. I mean, probably it's a quick fix that the parent probably didn't have time. It might be something genuine, but what do you have to say? How do we, solve that issue?